that going to talk about a very interesting, very significant poem, Musée des Beaux-Arts. And the poem basically deal with 3 paintings. Let me show you the painting, but before we move on to the poem, I want to show you an animation showing the, not cartoon, animation showing the story of Icarus, to offer you a contrast of how Icarus can be presented in a noble way in the animation, and then as just a white leg in the painting. Okay, so this is a fall of Icarus, a landscape with a fall of Icarus by Bruegel the elders. And here, this is Icarus. No, the pair of white legs. Okay, and this is the ship mentioned in the poem, the farmers. Okay, and then the sun. Yeah, these are things described in Musée des Beaux-Arts. And the other 2 poems described, both all by Bruegel the elders. This is a Massacre of the Innocents. And you see, this is a larger picture. And inside the picture, we have the soldiers in one group, soldiers pulling the babies away from their parents, and the parents begging the soldiers not to do it. You know, parents begging. Okay. And also, you know, if we zoom in more closely, we see that amidst all these tragedies, you know, the sadness, the horrors, there were 2 dogs playing with each other. I think this is something that Auden pays attention to. Okay, so these are the 2 dogs. This is the census at Bethlehem. Census 就是人口调查. So basically, the Massacres of Innocents and Census at Bethlehem, they are from different parts of the Bible, but they are a sequence of the stories before the birth of Jesus. You know, like this is when Mary has to escape from this place in order to have a safe delivery. Okay, so basically this is Mary, and the other people are busy here, you know, taking the census while children are playing. So we have Mary secretly, you know, escaping from the place, and children playing. So this is a contrast, the nervousness of Mary and children playing with the snow is a contrast that Auden finds in his interpretation of the painting. Okay, and this is stately ship, the Icarus, farmer, and the sun, the setting sun. Okay, let me show you the animation first. Okay, I think the animation is not difficult for you to understand, although there is a part that I don't know how to interpret, and that is Minotaur. I don't know the background or the story of this mythic figure to understand why there is a transformation in his part. Maybe you can check up on Greek mythology and also metamorphosis, and then you know maybe Minotaur was a human being first before he becomes half bull, half human. Okay, so that part of it I don't know how to interpret, but basically with the showing, with the background music, the flute music, and the showing of the faces of the father and the son, and the focus on their flight, you know, how free they are in the sky, and how desolate the island of Crete is, and how bare of anything, you know, how empty of everything the labyrinth is. I guess you can feel sympathy for their desire to flight, and also Icarus' desire to fly higher and higher until he reaches the sun. Yeah, and also the ending does not show Icarus falling into the sea, but that Icarus falling into the universe, you know, like disappearing amidst the stars. is another sign of human smallness, but also our sympathy for his courage, etc. Okay, but I think the Musée des Beaux-Arts shows it very differently. It presents the position of human suffering, in different ways by juxtaposing human suffering with some daily activities. Okay, so activities of human beings, but and also even of animals. So basically, the questions I want to ask of Group 4. Okay, Group 4 are, for instance, why are examples of human suffering juxtaposed with activities of human beings and animals? And are all these examples of human and animal indifference the same, or are there any differences? Okay, and what does old masters mean? Who are the old masters, and what is the speaker's attitude toward the concurrence of the tragedies and human suffering, tragedies and daily occurrences? Why does the speaker or the old masters want to present this type of concurrences? Okay, and also what does the speaker? How does the speaker look at the old masters? And how do we see the views through the poetic forms? Okay, and finally, is this poem a free verse or not? Okay, so these are the questions for Group 4. So let me read a poem first. Or maybe some of you want to read it. How about, one person from Group 4?
About suffering they will never run. The old masters, how well they understood its human position, how it takes place. While someone else is eating or opening the windows or just walking dully alone. How, when the aged are reverently, passionately waiting for the miraculous births there always must be. Children who did not specially want it to happen skating on the pond at the edge of the wood. They never forgot that even the dreadful martyrdom must run its course. Anyhow, in the corner, some untidy spot, where the dogs go on with their doggy life and the torturous horse scratches its innocent behind on the tree. In Burgos, 天啊 Icarus, for instance, how everything turns away, quite leisurely from the disaster. The plowman may have heard the splash, the 4-second cry, but for him it was not an important failure. The sun shone, as it had to on the white lass disappearing into the green water, and the expansive, delicate ship that must have seen something amazing, a boy falling out of the sky, had somewhere to get to and sailed calmly on.
Okay, thank you. So basically, there's a pattern. How. The first two lines foreground the most important two elements in this poem. One is suffering, and the other is old masters. So if we straighten out the syntax, it will mean that the old masters, they were never wrong about suffering. But to move suffering to the beginning of the poem, foreground, make us know that, this is the main point, the main topic of this poem. Okay, and then they were never wrong, and they how well they understood its human position, how it takes place. So then all the following describes what the old masters understand very well, and also the fact that human suffering take place while other daily activities are happening along the way. Also, how this part refers to the census at Bethlehem. Okay, when the census is being taken, children did not especially want it to happen, and they have their own games on the snow. And then the lines 10 to 13 refers to the massacre of the innocents. So when the dreadful martyrdom, and that is the killing of the babies, run this course, then we have dogs going on with their doggy life. Basically, what we see is two dogs playing with each other, and the torturous horse scratches its innocent behind on a tree. Literally, maybe we can say that we don't exactly see it. We don't see horses scratching its behind, but there are a lot of horses in this picture, in this painting. Yeah, so I guess this is really Auden's imagination, like making some extension of the poem, of the painting, to say that just as the dogs, where are the dogs? Here, the dogs are here. Lead on their doggy life. The horses also have their own lives. So the examples he gives is that they will scratch their behinds, but that's not really something we see from the painting. Okay. And then again, the pattern how continues in from line 14 to 21, where Auden describes Icarus, the landscape with Icarus fall. So here we have everything turning away quite leisurely from the disaster. Example of the plowman, the sun, and then the expensive, delicate ship. Okay, so that's the basic ideas of the poem. It's interesting that if Icarus is the focus, or is one of the focuses of the poem, his name is not mentioned, and he is presented only towards the end. Okay, as the forsaken cry, and white legs, and a boy falling out of the sky. You know, so he's presented as some fragments, some nameless fragments at the end. You know, basically it's the example of casualty. You know, usually when a person dies, you know, in this kind of tragedy, then maybe the name is not the most important thing, but evidence of its death. You know, where it's seen, where it's heard, and then where it's presented. Yeah. Okay. So group 4, let's get back to the questions. So why do you think that, what kind of daily occurrences are presented in this poem, and why are they juxtaposed with human sufferings? And of all the examples of human indifference, are they treated equally, or is there any one which is least appreciated? How about Xiaoling? So what are the examples of daily activities that's shown at this point? Yeah, like somebody is eating, opening a window, walking dully. You know, these are daily activities, right? Also, children playing on the snow, and the dogs in their doggy life, and the horses scratching their behinds.
Yeah.
And then also the following ones: plowman, the sun, the expensive, delicate ship. So what does it mean to say that so many things happen at the same time with the human tragedies? Do you see it this way? You know, remember last time I said that this poem of Auden's is a direct contrast to Stop all the clock, cut off the telephone line. You know, because in that poem, Auden says, my beloved is dead, so everything should stop and be in mourning for the dead. But here, he says human tragedies happen at the same time. So many other things are happening too. Do you agree with this one more, or the previous poem?
I agree with this point because when the tragedy happens, we still have to lead our daily life.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot stop our daily life.
Yes, life goes on, and sometimes, like at the time when we are talking about the poem now, there could be different tragedies happening in different places, and I think the frequency of tragedy nowadays is even larger than before, because the weather changes can be really unpredictable, etc. Right? But life goes on, and sometimes we're not aware of the tragedies, or sometimes we cannot. I think life goes on can have different implications. One is that we should continue, and that's what you pointed out. And the second thing is the second possible reason is that we're not aware of the tragedies. Like now, different people can be dying, in different places in the world, but we're not aware of them. So that's the second implication. And the third implication is even if we know them, if we know, oh, this person is about to die and that person dies, or there are in some place there is a snowstorm and different people suffer in that snowstorm, sometimes we cannot be sympathetic with so many tragedies, happening on daily basis. Sometimes we can become indifferent to those tragedies. So I think there are three possible implications to this coexistence of human tragedies and daily lives, right? Okay. Rebecca? As I said, there can be different responses, different reasons for the coexistence. Which do you think out of all these is the least acceptable? Or do you see all the examples Auden gives here as the same? They are just daily occurrences.
The same.
The same? Really? All of them the same? So the sounds are shining, the same with the plowman's work, the same with the expensive, delicate ships sailing calmly on. The same with the dogs, the same with the horses, the children, etc. Okay, how about Joe?
I think it's not the same. Because based on to us, our daily life made like the first few lines, just opening windows, and that's our daily events that may happen every day, and we just accept it as naturally as we can. But however, the last lines, the last few lines is the examples that the poet gave is much to those characters in these examples may be that's theirs daily lives. To them, it's like a destined fate that all this thing must happen as
so you said that for the plowman,
but to Icarus, because he trying to fly to escape from his situation, and
so
because he's flying too high, so it's bound to be failed. And however, at the end, he still can find some way to sail calmly on. In my opinion, I think I connect the Icarus story with the last line to have somewhere to get to and sail calmly on, because it's like a cycle that although we sometimes accept our routine just as easily, but it's just like although we just accept it easily, and sometimes we may ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
But however, if we change our aspect to view about it, sometimes it's just like fate to lead us to all the different kinds of our endings.
All the different kinds of what?
The ending.
Okay. So in other words, routine can mean something natural, but routine can also mean destiny.
Yes.
Okay, but if we don't follow the destiny, there could be different endings. Is that what you meant? Or
to different people, but to us, maybe our daily lives, wake up every day and end the day with or we are going to sleep, but to the examples that maybe Icarus is bound to fail.
Okay, so it's a kind of destiny because of his maybe personality. The fact that he is too ambitious, too young, too irrational, maybe.
Based on different actions they made.
Okay. Okay.